The U.S. is bracing itself for cyber attacks from Russia. To talk about how you can step up your protection, we're bringing in James Turgal. He's the VP of Cyber Risk for Optiv Security in Denver. James, good morning.
Good morning.
So Russian cyber attacks, not anything new here. Earlier this year, Russian hackers were arrested for a ransomware attack that forced the Colonial Pipeline to shut down and led to a major gas shortage in the U.S. So if Russians were to attack again, how would that play out?
So I see this playing out in certain visible sectors, especially now that there's, the war and the invasion has occurred within the Ukraine. I see certain sectors like the defense industrial base, our financial services, critical infrastructure again, energy specifically. We saw these types of attacks leading up to the Russian troop movements around in Belarus and all of those actions surrounding the Ukraine. We actually saw, I believe it was some 70 government websites and other financial services in the Ukraine actually attacked in those areas in those weeks leading up to the invasion.
Down on the consumer level, what are some things that we can do to protect ourselves? What are some things we should be on the lookout for?
So consumers, this is going to be a high time of actually, phishing and other types of email and social engineering scams. What individuals can do is to have good cyber hygiene. And I know it sounds trite, but it's really important. Have good passwords. Change them every 6 months. Actually, every Friday, I take my systems and I reboot them because that allows all the vulnerabilities and all the patches to occur from the software manufacturers, and so it keeps those systems clean.
President Biden has asked U.S. companies to be prepared to respond. How can companies do that?
Well, so companies are in it's a mixed bag with that answer, right? So large and conglomerate companies are really good at this, and they have large IT budgets, and they really have visibility into their networks, right? What concerns me are the small and medium-sized businesses, right? They don't have those budgets, and so you really need to. Any company right now should be looking at this as an opportunity to get that incident response plan out, dust it off. Let's practice it. Let's look at what are our communication issues, up and down the organization. Don't assume that your employees actually know that there's a war going on in the Ukraine, and what are the implications from a corporate communications impact that has on them.
Yeah, important to revisit some of those important cyber tips and security, advice that we can do there. All right, James, appreciate you coming on the show and going through that advice. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.